And you are welcome. Today on SME, we have a very important and interesting guest, Mr. Emmanuel Macaulay Afemihe, popularly known as King E. He is a voiceover actor with over 10 years of experience in the business of voiceover acting, production, and also... See, I stumbled there because he's got 10 years. I've got 20 years.
I'm upcoming.
You're welcome, Emmanuel. Good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
I mean, you are the principal, or is it one of the principal for Voiceover Workshop?
Voiceover Workshop, yes.
And it's something that we have in common here. So today we're going to talk about the business of voiceover. It wasn't until last year, was it 2020, the pandemic, that people realized that you can actually sit at home and still make so much. How can you do that? You can do that by using your voice. There was a bigger need for people who had to have communication out there, and they needed professional voiceover acts to actually help them communicate these. So even stuff as little as 1-minute videos needed a good voice to be able to communicate it.
Yes.
And that's where you come in. That's where we come in.
Yes.
And then there is the influx of everybody else who believes that they're voiceover acts now.
Yeah.
And by a long shot, you're responsible for helping this industry because you have what is called the Voiceover Workshop, where you train people to be able to use their voices and make money in the long run. So let's talk about your endeavor. First off, in the voiceover industry as an individual, when it started 10 years ago.
Don't worry, I understand.
Yeah, it started 10 years ago for you, yes. So tell us about that, that beginning.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I mean, sitting with you, one of the Egbons in the industry.
Thank you very much. Please, can he say that again? In any case.
I mean, voiceovers for me is something that I live every day, okay? I wasn't born as a voiceover talent. I didn't start speaking in my mother's womb, as a lot of people would say, but at some point in my life, I realized that I should use my voice. Because growing up, I was really timid, and, you know, so imagine every play we picking play, I not play, you know, that kind of thing. You know, but growing up, I realized that I have something in my voice, and I wanted to use it. And I got into Lagos sometime, some over 15, 20 years ago, I think. And then, because I started out as a musician, actually, so I was always around the studio and all that, and because of how I spoke, you know, friends started telling me, okay, you can do this thing, you know, and then somehow it started as nothing serious, free for friends and all that, and then at a certain point I realized that, okay, I can make more from this, and I can do this.
So when did it go from being something that you used to deliver as a vendor to actually a training institution, to a business where you train people? When did you realize that you can do that?
Yes, say 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yes, 3 years ago. After doing voiceovers for some time, I realized that voiceover actually helped me, okay? Changed my life to a very large extent, you know. I had it pretty rough growing up, and voiceovers was what paid my first university school fees, you know.
Interesting.
So, you know, so I felt like maybe I can also pass this to someone else. Maybe there's just one person out there that needs voiceover to scale through to the next level of their lives. I think that was what started Voiceover Workshop for me.
So the Voiceover Workshop is an institution where people come in for short courses, some long courses.
Yes.
And you train them on how to use their voices.
Absolutely.
It also benefits you because it's an institution, you have to run it, you need to make money as well. So it's also for profit in a way or two.
It is.
Now, it's a passion that you've turned into a business. And there are other people out there who have these talents, maybe not voiceover, but other talents that they could also use to impact people.
Yes.
What advice would you give them in starting their own little institutions like you have?
Well, first of all, I think even though you don't know how to do something, you should love it, all right? If you love it, you might see opportunities there. And then starting. It's one thing to start, it's another thing to keep it going, all right? So starting is usually the fear, because even with social media right now, I think it's easier to start businesses, but even with that, some people are still very, very much afraid to, you know, thinking, what will people say? Will they accept this? You know, sometimes just go all out. For me, one of my principles is, I try it. If it doesn't work, I move to something else, all right? So people will talk. It's better for you to start. And keep pushing, give it your best, give it your all. And usually it's not easy. But if you want to, if you feel like, okay, there's something here, sometimes your mind will somehow
Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah.
you know.
So,
So yes.
I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Can anybody be a voiceover artist?
Can anybody be a voice? I don't believe so. Okay. Though because as a voiceover talent or a voiceover artist, there are certain things needed. First of all, you have to have a voice. All right. So if you don't have a voice, let's say you don't speak or something like that, then you may not be able to do it. All right. And at the same time, there are certain requirements. Even if you are not exactly doing English, voiceovers for English, even if not Pidgin, you know, things like that, you know. You have to be able to speak Pidgin in a certain way.
Yeah.
And if it's English, there are certain things that is expected
Well, can you
of you.
train a person to be able to speak in that way? Now, that's the thing. Can I want to do it so bad that I can learn to do it?
Well, they're just, if you're able to give it your all, and then, like I said, there are certain things that you need to know. If you're willing to do those things, all right? One of the things I usually say is, let's say for English scripts now. I know you know these things. You're still asking me, but it's fine. All right? Let's say for English scripts, there are certain ways we expect that you speak, okay? Speak English, some pronunciation. Sometimes even your diction, all right? And for some people, mother tongue comes in, and you know, all of those things, H factor. Sorry for those people who who have all that, you know, going. But we'd expect that all those things are eliminated. If you're unable to do it, it might become a problem if you're working for a brand that needs you to speak proper English, all right? That would be an impediment. So, but if you're able to take it out, okay, of course, you do it.
In the past decade or so, there's also been the advent of real deep Pidgin English adverts, and brands are switching to that now.
Of course.
So that means that there is a niche for people who have that mother tongue, worry type Pidgin English, or even different languages, Yoruba, Hausa, and all of that.
So it doesn't matter. I mean,
so what will it take for the individual who is quite good at speaking in these tongues? How can they get started?
Well, I think enrolling for a course will help, all right? We've had people like you know, we're pleased. And most of our facilitators are really, they're like the most brilliant in Africa, all right? And there's no way they will train you and you don't learn something.
So after the training.
All right, so after the training, what we do is that we have a group where most of our alumni are, and then we post jobs opportunities. And usually how it works is that the brand or the client wants certain voices. All right, if your voice is fine with them, they pick the voice and then you get the job.
If you're in that pool, then you can simply just say, okay, you're good for this job. You can just refer them.
Yes, I do that. Yes,
that's very interesting. Now, for the individuals who have learned, who have passed through your institution and all of that, how can they continue to get better? What do they need to do on their own individually? How do they need to strategize, position themselves inside of the community to be able to get more jobs? What do they need to do to make sure that they're still relevant?
Even after the trainings, they always have access to me, to most of our facilitators who are open for all of that. And we always advise that because you went through a particular training within a particular time does not mean that you're all good. So you have to always interact with voiceover content, attend voiceover events, conferences, and just keep learning, keep growing. What we say is, you know, talk is cheap, but your voice can be expensive. But for your voice to be expensive, you have to keep learning, you have to keep growing.
So when does it become expensive? At what point do you know that, yes, I can start charging this amount for a voiceover job of, say, maybe 30 seconds?
Yeah, so this is what I usually say. Experience. I believe in process, all right? You don't start something today and expect that, oh, by tomorrow I should be earning, all right? Most of us have been in the industry for quite some time. People like me are still young. People like you know. So over time, you will know, because it also works with your confidence. The kinds of jobs you've done, how long you've been interacting with these things. You know that, okay, if I'm charging 10,000 naira today, you know, next year, there's always that growth. I think it's also natural for you to grow after some time, and you feel like, okay, this thing is too small for me now, let me increase it. But you have to be within the industry and doing the activities that will help you grow, you know. So even putting a price tag to what you do or your voice comes from the mind as well, all right? So if you don't have that confidence, grow yourself to a point where you feel like, okay, I can charge this amount, and the experience, you can't take that out as well.
Well, Emmanuel, you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to voiceover that we cannot. We can't talk about it in the little time that we have here. Right? So I'm sure that if you have questions, you've seen his social media handle under the screen there, and you might want to reach out to him. I'm sure that he can help you develop your voice to the extent where you can actually start to make big business from it. If you don't want to reach out to him, reach out to me. It's okay. Emmanuel, I'll tell you what, man, for coming over this morning, let's reward you with something. Titi, who's another voiceover act, is in the studio here. Please, Titi, will you take care of Emmanuel?
Hey, thank you, thank you. Welcome.
T-I-T-I, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Yeah, when you hear T-I-T-I, you know someone that knows you from way back. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. And thank you for the work you do.
Thank you too.
Chef Ty and I have been in the kitchen for quite a bit. And he has what? Pasta twist or twisted pasta. What was it again?
Macaroni twist.
Macaroni twist. I'm sorry, I apologize. I remember the twist part. And he has an amazing fish sauce as well. So, yeah, I think it's about time for you to have a taste of what he's put together.
Let us do this.
And give your verdict.
Okay.
Yes, so tell us what you think.
All right. So it's time to dig in. Okay.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, drum roll. Ooh. So what do you think? What do you think?
Okay, I like it. All right. No, I like it because I don't like my food being soggy, right? So the pasta is just well cooked.
Ooh.
And I felt the crunch of the onions as well.
Ooh,
and the spice.
All right. It's nice.
You know, the spice is there. It's morning, so
all right.
You know, but maybe if it's afternoon, but morning, I love it, love it, love it.
All
should
right,
I?
thank you
okay,
so
I should
much.
Not go on, right?
No, thank you, thank you, thank you. Before his head explodes, he's loving it as well.
Chef Ty, well done.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful time on the show. Thank you for being a part of the show. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mazino.
7 a.m. people.
You said you want to say something.
No. I just discovered cupcakes here. I don't know who's. I think they're Titi's, but I'm going to eat
It's not all cupcakes. I cannot eat like that.
Don't eat every cupcake.
You can eat it now and you see yourself inside 10 million bridge or somewhere.
Please, oh, it's not
Bye-bye,
every
everybody. Catch you guys tomorrow.
Have a great day, everyone.